Despite increasing demand, both from customers and job availability, seating times, entire days missed, all because Charleston area eateries and hotels can't keep their restaurants and hotels staffed. Well, here with a look inside the problem is Dan Blumenstock. He's vice chair for Explore Charleston's Board of Governors. He is also vice president of the Lowcountry Hospitality Association and director of operations for Lowcountry Hotels. It's great to have you.
Great, thank you.
Many, many hats that you wear, but you are fully embedded in the hospitality sector here in Charleston. How dire is the situation at this point?
Well, I think the good news is that we've come a long way. And so if you looked at or asked me that question even 8-10 months ago, it was very dire. On a scale of 1 to 10, we were probably a 2 at that point. But we've come a long way. The trajectory is definitely on the upswing. So I definitely put as much higher on that chart up into the 5, 6 kind of category now.
So you say that things have improved, but where do we go from here?
Well, I think that, as I said, over the past 8 to 10 months, we've seen some shifts. I think people are working. I think they just chose not to come back necessarily in the hospitality business. And so maybe they went to other sectors, manufacturing being one of those. You know, manufacturing has grown here in the Charleston area. But I think the good news that I'm seeing right now is that we're seeing a good uptick. And kudos to the team members.
Uptick
in hiring. Okay. That's correct, in positions. And I would say kudos to our current staff who have been there and really been in the trenches with us day in and day out in order to make it happen. Yeah. And I kind of look at it to say, you know, now is actually one of the best times to be able to get into the hotel business or hospitality, food and beverage, you know, all that encompassing world. Because I kind of liken it to the housing market, for example. In housing, you end up with a buyer and a seller's market. Well, kind of the same thing. Right now, it's an employee market. So compensation is higher than it's ever been in our industry. So it's a great time for people to take a look at positions open.
And how does this reflect, though, in the service? Because I will tell you from personal experience is that going to certain hotels, going to certain restaurants, sometimes the experience is just as good where it needs to be, and others, I'm not getting what I'm paying for anymore.
Sure.
And I'm seeing services, I'm seeing amenities chipped away, yet I'm either paying the same price or more. So how are we justifying people hired who are getting paid more, but then I'm getting less in the end?
Well, I think it's definitely a delicate balance. And so what we've seen, I'm going to talk hotels just briefly, is that stayover service is one of those things that we've had to address head on. And I've said, you know, we need to make sure that the room that you're coming into is absolutely meticulous and it's there when your arrival. However, if you're only staying 2 nights, I may not service that room during your time of staying there.
That was before, though. That's no, I'm not talking about that. No, what I'm talking about is just bell service. I'm talking about people helping you take your bags to a room, or, you know, people who are wanting to provide service and not take forever to do it. That there is, you see people incentivized to provide the service that you are paying for.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen in just my own travels a decline in those service levels. I think when you're getting into our luxury brands and some of those types of things, they've covered their basis on being able to deliver that.
That's actually who I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I haven't personally seen that as the direct impact. I've seen more of our behind the scenes, and so when you get into like food and beverage, if you're looking at dishwashing positions and things like that, we've had to be able to be creative in how we're going to fill those gaps.
Okay. So as far as job hiring and so forth, is there a message that you want to send out there for people who are looking for jobs?
Yeah, I think I would reiterate my statement earlier. I think it's a great time to get into the business, A, because there are positions available right now, also because there are a higher wage now than we've seen in history, quite frankly. And then in addition to that, we're seeing more and more internships. So we've been very specific with through both the Explore Charleston and also through the Lowcountry Hospitality Association to be very, very specific with, we call it ICEP, I-C-E-P. And what we've done is really targeted a lot of HBCUs and being able to bring interns here over the summer to get that real life working experience and really put them in a position for success for management roles as they do graduate from college.
Sure. Okay.
And in fact, I've got more just in my company. We've hired more college interns this year, outside of ISEP even, this year than I've ever hired before.
Okay.
And then even reaching one step below that is high school students.
Yes, they need to work
They
too.
need to work.
They need that experience. They need to save up for college. All right, so anybody who's interested in applying to your organization, they can just go onto your website and we'll provide that to our viewers. I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely, thank you.
We're back after this.